Before going to the cooling tower, I just want to tell that we require soft water which has to be circulated in the condenser water piping system through cooling tower. Soft water is required because there are large chances of and there is a big challenge of scale formation inside the condenser water pumps inside the condenser cell. So this is of utmost important that we should use the soft water. Here in our campus, in our academic area, especially at the site of the plant, our hardness of the water is on higher side. So we have installed one soft sand filter and softener, and the soft water we obtained from this plant is stored in the underground tank, and from that tank, this is the underground tank, there are two pump sets. So this soft water is stored on the terrace of the plant. Yes, you can see that there are two tanks. They are the storage tanks or makeup water tank, each of 10,000 liter capacity, and this soft water tank and the pump set works continuously and fill up the makeup water tank. This makeup water tank supplies the water to all our cooling towers because a considerable amount of water is lost from the cooling towers. That is near about 10 liters per hour per ton. That is the approximate calculation actually. Now I will go to the cooling tower. You can see these are the cooling towers. So for our 4 chillers, we have installed 5 cooling towers. These cooling towers are induced draft counterflow cooling towers. This pipeline that I'm showing you, this is coming from condenser of the chiller. This is a balancing valve through which, and above the balancing valve there is a butterfly valve. Through this balancing valve, it is manually regulated the flow of water across each cooling tower. These are the headers coming from the chill water plant. One is the condenser water outlet, the other is on the left side, it is the condenser water inlet pump. So the water coming from condenser is at temperature of 35 to 37 degrees Celsius, and through the nozzles at the top of the cooling tower there is a fan deck and fan, then there is a drift eliminator, then there are nozzles through which this condenser hot water is sprayed across inside the fills of the cooling tower, and because of the fills the water gets large amount of surface area, and as the air moves from the sides of these cooling towers in induced draft way and air discharges from the top of the cooling tower, the heat of the condenser water in temperature is discharged to the environment. And in at the base of the cooling tower, this is a base sump. So basically these cooling towers have been designed on an approach of 5 degrees Celsius. So 35 degree water coming from the condenser gets cooled to 30 degrees Celsius under normal ambient conditions. But during peak monsoon season, the rate of evaporation reduces because of the increased humidity in the environment. Now we have another set of cooling tower which have been installed since last 1.5 years, and we have gone for the forced draft cooling tower. As you're seeing, this cooling tower is of capacity 450 TR, which 3 cells, 3 pass, each of 150 TR capacity. In water cooled system, the refrigerant gas is condensed normally in cell and tube condenser. What is used to cool and condense the refrigerant gas and in turn it into high pressure refrigerant liquid. In this process, the water gets heated and has to be recooled to continue the refrigeration cycle. The cooling of this condenser water is carried out in one of the cooling towers as described above. The extent to which this water can be cooled depends on the ambient wet bulb temperature. The condensing temperature of the refrigerant gas in turn depends on the temperature to which the water is cooled in the cooling tower. That's why the cooling tower selection is very important, and cooling towers are the most efficient water cooling devices. Their approaches have to be kept as low as possible